spend over $1 million a month on Facebook ads for my clients, and this is exactly how we scale Facebook ads, exactly how we either increase or decrease that budget based off performance inside of Meta. So just want to show you, I'll take a look real quick. This is an account that over the last 7 days, about $148,000 in sales, 46K in profit. It's also leveraging Triple Well right here. And then we spent about $40,000 on Meta, about $9,600 on Google. Now, to be fair, we don't touch Google and we don't touch TikTok. They have other agencies that are for this particular client that's running those things. Now, let's kind of go over this account. What are we looking at to scale? So number one thing for scaling Facebook ads, you need a North Star. A North Star is your live or die by. This is not something that's like, something we're talking about with one of my mentors the other day. There's a preference, which is something that you kind of wishy-washy on, and then you have boundaries. Like a boundary is something that you will not cross at all. Like, look, just use an extreme scenario here, like murder, for example. Like, no one's doing that, at least that I know of. That's a clear boundary for you. Whereas a preference might be like, some days I like coffee, some days I like Red Bull. Do I do a Red Bull every day? No. Do I do coffee every day? No. But there's some days I'm wishy-washy on those days. So you have a boundary first you need to set of what NCPA you want to scale at. NCPA is the cost to acquire a new customer. Now, I only focus on NCPA when I'm scaling because I want to leverage Facebook ads to acquire new customers for my brand. I don't want to use Facebook ads to get existing customers to purchase. Existing customers to purchase, that's where my email and SMS is for. But I only want to focus on new customers because the more new customers I acquire, the bigger the business can scale and the bigger the business can grow. Like for example, like my inner circle. When I spend money on Facebook ads to acquire students for my inner circle is $1,000 a month. And I'd say we probably only acquire anywhere between 10 to 12 new students a month, but we have like 50, 60 other students a month that are just on that auto draft and stuff like that. When I see in Stripe, oh, we did $5,000 in sales today, I need to bump up my budget for Facebook ads. But then I'll look, it's 5 students that just got auto drafted that day for their membership. Facebook had no contribution to that. So you only want to focus on new customers because new customers is what Facebook's bringing to the table, whereas existing customers, they're going to purchase either way. So I just want to be very clear on that first. You need your North Star. So first I set my North Star. This particular account, I think it's a $22 NCPA we're scaling at. I'm currently not running ads for this account. That's actually one of my team members that's running ads for this particular account. But I think it's $22 that we're actually we're focusing on right now. It's either $20 or $22. So we'll use $22 as an example for this particular video here. So as long as this is at $22 exactly or below, we can spend more money on Facebook ads. As far as us actually spending more money on Facebook ads, it's very, very simple. It's us just coming in this account. You can just select it like this, edit, campaign budget, and you can either just do increase daily budget by 20% if we're hitting our targets, or it's decrease daily budget if we're not hitting our targets, and then we just decrease it by 20%. So we're only doing 20% up or 20% down. No problem at all with using surfing, no problem at all with all these other ways. This is just the way I've had the most consistent success with. I've been doing this for 3 years now this way, and all the other ways were just like short-term things that just never lasted from a consistent standpoint. So we only use 20% up or 20% down. The only time I'll surf, and if you don't know what surfing is where I'm doubling budget 2 or 3 times a day. The only times I surf is like during Black Friday, where we only have a short period of time to spend a lot of money. Or like maybe, for example, there's a particular thing going on, like an event that we're doing, and we only have like 2 or 3 days to spend a lot of money. That's the time I'll surf. But 99% of the time of the year, I'm just 20% up or 20% down. Now, all I simply do is just come in Triple Well and look at yesterday and okay, cool. My NCPA target is $21 or $22. Let's give it a second to load. We're at a $21 NCPA yesterday. I'll go in and increase budget by 20%. Now, this is where there's also some other factors. So I generally only do 1 campaign per account, But this particular client is in a couple different countries. So I have one campaign per country. This one's just slightly different. We only have we only have two countries in this one because it's US and Canada, and same thing here for Australia and New Zealand. So because there's multiple campaigns, we also have to kind of know we have to know a little bit more now. This is where attribution tools come really in play. So if I click on Meta, I can actually look at yesterday, and inside of yesterday, I can more specifically see the level of which each of these campaigns performed. And again, I'm still looking at NCPA. Now, I like to look at overall NCPA for a reason. Overall is like the true 100% accurate, where like even these attribution tools are still not fully accurate to the point where I can fully trust them. So I just want to kind of collectively see here, okay, hey, this one, $34 NCPA. It was also the highest spending campaign. This one had a 37, which is like way higher than my highest spending campaign. Oh, actually, to be fair, no, that's not the highest spending. My highest spending one's $32 right here. This one actually spent the same amount, but had a significantly higher NCPA. And this one also had a higher NCPA, but it had way lower spend. I'm only going to bump budget by 20% on the US and Canada campaign. The Euro and the Australian campaign, honestly, I'm just going to leave. I'm not going to touch because the performance is still not like technically hot relative, again, keyword here, relative to my other campaign. So I'll just come in here, US and Canada, bump by 20%, and that's it. And I'm done for today. That's it. That's all I got to do. Very, very simple and quick. Now, what about decreasing budget? So the big thing with decreasing budget is I'll do last 24 hours to increase budget. But for decreasing budget, I typically allow 3 to 4 days at a much higher NCPA before I go ahead and fix that. Let me just go back. So let's just say if I can find real quick a day where we had a much higher NCPA. So December 10th, for example. December 10th, we had a $23 NCPA. So December 11th, which was yesterday, I wouldn't go ahead and just decrease now because we had a $23 NCPA that day. I'll typically allow 3 to 4 days at a high NCPA before I start decreasing spend. Why? Because I've just found out that, not just found out, but like I've just found over time that if we have a day of hitting a bad performance, just don't touch anything. Literally do not fucking touch anything for a couple days, 2 or 3 days, and it'll just autocorrect itself. So when you actually go and start touching and doing all these things in the account, it'll actually make performance worse. And then you start like trying to catch a falling knife. You do all these actions and it's just destroying everything. So for me, I'll just go ahead and literally just give it 3 or 4 days. Don't touch anything and it'll just autocorrect itself. And I found that's just a much better route. And I've had significantly higher success with that. Now, from a client perspective, it can kind of look bad because I'm just not doing anything and not being proactive. But honestly, it just had such a higher success rate that I'm just 100% confident in that particular action right there. Now, that's it. That's all I do. So you hit your NCPA, you scale up by 20%, or you give it a few days and you scale down. And then same thing, if I have to scale down because it's not doing performance, it's not performing hot, then I'll just give it a few days and then that's it. Now, another thing I want to talk about here is I want to talk about a hard deck. So let's actually go to another account. So this is actually another client account right here. And this account, fresh launch, fresh from scratch. We didn't do anything else. So there's only one campaign so far in this account. And we set a hard deck of like $75 a day on Facebook, meaning that we're going to spend that $75 regardless if we have god awful performance or not. And all of August, we had a $100 cost per purchase. Our target cost per purchase was $30. Yes, we're losing like $70 every single day or like $40 every day that we run this. But again, that's our hard deck. A hard deck is something you set that you do not scale below regardless of performance. So at every different level, we'll have a different hard deck. We have a client right now at a $500 a day hard deck. They need a $30 cost per purchase to scale. And they're currently at, I think, a $33 or $34 cost per purchase. But they also have cash in the bank, they have reserves, all that good stuff. This is a brand new account, meaning they were zero spend prior to us coming on board. And just to show you that, like here's like the 1st of August, like zero money was spent in this account. Now, what we did was just literally kept working the system. So if you look at all the way from September 1st to the 19th, you know, went from $100 cost per purchase, and all we do is just keep testing new ads and trying to find a new winning ad for this account. And I have videos on the channel on how to test new Facebook ad creatives. So how to test Facebook ads in 2025 is my most updated guide currently right now on this, and it'll show you how to test ads, creatives, all that good stuff. Now watch what happens on the 20th through the rest of the month. We hit a $31 cost per purchase. Why? Because we found a creative that took overall spend, and what we do is we just do one like flexible ad per, again, how to test Facebook ads 2025. That video will show you all of this. So I kept spending and I kept focusing on prioritizing and finding those new creatives to where I could then start spending more. And then if we look at October, we really start to scale in October, and we spent $19,000 at a $33 cost per purchase. But if we go back to August, we literally spent $1,900. We spent 10 times more in October because we kept spending every day. We kept our hard deck. We finally found a creative that allows us to hit our $30 cost of purchase, and then we just started scaling 20%, 20%, 20%. So that's what happens. So you set that hard deck, you never scale below, you focus on finding those winning creative. So if you're not hitting that NCPA of what you're trying to hit right now, then just keep testing, don't scale below your hard deck. And then from there, you'll find your new winning creatives and you can scale back up. And then like there's other things you can focus on in terms of like creatives. You can also look at landing pages, offer testing and stuff like that. Those are some high level things you can do, and there'll be other videos for that. But for the most part, 90% of people just focus on better creatives, and that will impact everything. Again, how to test Facebook ads in 2025, that'll go over step by step of how to do all that from a high level perspective, from what we're doing, of how we structure it, all that good stuff right there. So thank y'all so much for watching. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button, hit that subscribe button for new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If you want me to personally come into your ad account, run all your ads, do all the research, write all the ads, create all the creatives, put them in the account, test them, find new winners, and scale that account up for you, then click the link below to have Nick Theriot run your ads. If you rather hop on calls together, one-on-one calls, me and you review your account together and give you specific feedback of what to do, then click the link below to have Nick Theriot mentor you. Thank y'all so much for watching. Hope you have a good rest of y'all day. Peace out.